welcome to Rewatch Party, a podcast brimming with antioxidants and natural mood boosters. I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Mark Green. Guys, a lot of exciting opportunities in this episode for health, for wellness,
for sand,
and for buying into a horrible pyramid scheme.
Yes, which is why you should listen to this podcast, because this podcast is not a pyramid scheme, but it is shaped like a triangle. A delicious triangle that'll boost your mood.
And you cannot legally prove that we are in fact an MLM, so stop trying.
It's shaped like a triangle, the most stable of shapes.
Yes. And there are three of us.
Yeah,
two on the bottom, one on
exactly.
top.
Yeah,
So,
because there's three of us.
Yeah.
But who is the one on top, you might say?
Well, it's an equilateral triangle, so it's drawn on all sides.
But I'm on top.
Okay. You are on top this week.
Zach, I'll give you that.
Yes.
You did very good.
Yes!
You showed initiative, so yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's happening this week in iCarly? Well, there's a lot of MLMs.
Yes.
It was funny because we were watching the episode and partway through someone is selling Carly on an MLM and she's like, that sounds great. And we out loud went, oh my God, is Carly going to join an MLM? And Tyler went, hey guys, the name of the episode is iMLM.
It's fantastic.
So really hitting the nail on the head there with that one.
Yeah, Tyler, if you had just told us in advance, you could have saved us from looking like fools. Do you enjoy this? To make me look like a fool?
Yeah, I can't speak for Tyler, but I'm assuming the answer is yes.
Oh, Tyler does say yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
That explains a lot.
It explains a lot about this podcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, we begin with Spencer and Carly, as we so often do. And Spencer is telling her that he had this date the other night, and she said he wasn't a good listener. That's crazy.
Could you imagine Spencer not a good listener?
Yeah. Spencer, who is shown to be self-absorbed and have a very short attention span, is not a good listener?
I wouldn't believe it if he didn't say it himself.
I mean, I'm not really convinced. After Spencer Shea helped me through my depression, I was convinced he was a very good listener.
When Spencer Shea helped me out during the war, I knew.
This is a man who raised my child for 3 years when I was going through chemo.
When Spencer Shea came to my farm 6 years ago.
Spencer Shea introduced me to my wife and also to the wonderful products at Nutrisystem. Nutriboom. I don't know.
Nutriboom.
One of those is...
Yeah, definitely.
You too can be your own boss.
Make your own hours.
Make your own hours.
$20,000 a year by being your own boss.
But Carly does not think Spencer is a wonderful, kind person who will raise your children and introduce you to your wife and introduce you to wonderful products full of antioxidants.
Which
natural
is weird
mood boosters.
Because Spencer raised her.
Yeah, that's true.
He did.
But she doesn't say that explicitly. I'm saying that by way of transitioning back to the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've just noticed that because I'm like, wait, he did kind of raise her.
This man is a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so odd. There's the one episode, it's like the second or third episode of iCarly.
Yeah.
Where their grandfather visits and he's like, you're not a responsible guardian. And then in the end, Spencer proves that he is responsible and he does care about Carly's well-being and he remembers everything. And then Spencer is not a responsible guardian for the rest of time.
Yep.
He proved it one time and that's enough.
He proved it one time and then he proceeded to set everything on fire forever.
It was really weird. Like, he remembered that Carly had asthma one time, which is a thing that nobody else remembered, apparently, even though that's kind of an important thing.
Something that Carly did not remember.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't remember that you have asthma, that's kind of a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I I don't know why this is being singled out in my memory, but remember when Spencer built a giant cup of coffee and they were like swimming in it?
Yeah.
That can't be responsible. I don't care if the coffee isn't hot. That's very deep. If anything, it's very easy to drown in there.
Remember when Spencer made a fan of hammers that actually moved?
Yeah, that's that same
Very
episode
fast.
where he proves that he's a good guardian. That's what prompted the grandfather to say you're not a good
that's
guardian.
right. Yeah.
Because
fan
there's
of
a spinning
hammers.
wheel of hammers.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
He did fully do that. I don't know if remembering her inhaler mitigates that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same guy who set everything on fire, including Carly's bedroom, but it's okay
That's
because
true.
he rebuilt it.
Hey. She wasn't in the bedroom at the time.
That's true. He never set Carly on fire specifically, only inanimate objects.
But this episode is not about whether or not Spencer is a good parent. Maybe not. It's about whether he's a good listener. And Carly says that he's not. And she says she has these listening exercises, and Spencer says, you're a meddler, which it feels like it's going to transition into a Seinfeld episode where they have like a 30-second conversation about like, what do you mean I'm a meddler? Well, you meddle, Carly.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with meddlers?
Oh God.
Zach's never seen Seinfeld.
You know, they come in, they meddle in all of your business, and then they leave. Like, what's the deal with meddlers?
We will get to the episode soon, but right now, Zach, I want you to describe to me what you think an average episode of Seinfeld is.
You know, I've seen episodes of Seinfeld, right?
I know, I'm joking.
Okay, okay.
I don't
well,
mean
imagine,
most of the things I say here.
I imagine. I mean, it starts with Jerry Seinfeld.
Of course.
And it's like a and then he goes in and he meets with George, and George is like, oh my god, I'm with this girl and she's meddling. I can't do that. And Jerry's like, oh, you can't deal with a meddler. I don't understand. What's the deal with meddlers? And then Kramer comes in, and then George is like, oh, she's meddling in all my business. And Kramer's like, oh, you can't do that. You can't go with the meddler. And Jerry's like, what do you mean with the meddlers? I don't understand.
Zach,
and then Elaine comes in.
Zach, I'm gonna stop you right there. It's 100% perfect.
I was prepared to go on for another hour.
Zach, that was 100%
I didn't even
correct.
get to
It
Elaine
was
yet.
100% correct.
That was 100% correct, and those impressions were perfect.
Thank you. I didn't even get to Elaine. You don't even get to hear my
I
Elaine
know.
impression.
I know,
assure
Zach.
you, it's
I'm
the
not.
best one.
I'm not stopping you because you were doing a bad job. I'm stopping you because we have to talk about this episode of iCarly.
It's because I was
Yes.
too good.
Eventually,
You're too good.
You were too
It
good.
was too in depth.
But anyway, an ex, who I forget his name, but he was on the original iCarly. He was the
Griffin.
bad boy Carly. Griffin, correct.
Griffin.
Thank you, Harrison. You support me so well. He called Carly to reconnect.
Yeah.
And, maybe she's into it. Maybe she made a mistake letting him go just because he collects Pee-wee babies.
Yeah. That's a good point. Is it really so bad that he had a hobby of collecting Pee-wee babies?
No, but you know what is bad? You know what is bad, Harrison?
What?
His life since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will get to it, but Griffin is a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember in the episode at the time being like, well, because the episode's like she was really into him because he's a bad boy,
That's
and then
right.
she finds out he's kind of a dork.
Yeah.
With these Pee-wee babies, and that turns her off. But I remember at the time being like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, Freddie is working in tech support. He has saved almost $4,000. He's almost there. He can almost move out of his mom's apartment. Finally.
Yay.
Yep. And there's a very good scene where Freddie gets a call and is giving tech support advice, and Carly is struggling with the toaster. And so Freddie's saying, like, are you sure it's plugged in? And Carly checks to see if it's plugged in and then plugs it in. And I thought it was going to go on for longer than that, but it just sort of cuts to the theme song at that point. But I liked that a lot. I thought they were going to go on for a while of like, have you turned it off and back on again?
That was funny. I did like that. Yeah.
It was a good
I liked
bit,
that a
yeah.
lot. I liked this episode.
Yeah,
I'm
it
gonna
was-
say it up front. I liked this episode. It was a fun one. I
Yeah, it
thought.
has a lot of positives. It
Yeah.
was
A
a
lot of
solid
positive-
experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
But we go over to Skybucks where Carly is meeting Griffin, and now we get the central thrust of the episode. Let's talk about Griffin.
So Griffin is not into Pee-wee babies anymore. I guess he probably realized that they're worthless and stopped collecting them.
Oh, you think he
No.
was just he was looking to get rich? He
Yeah.
didn't care about the product. He was
Yeah.
collecting to sell them later.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
telling you,
definitely
these
it.
babies are gonna be worth millions in 10 years.
And now he's into another scam. But we'll get to that in a second because we find out
one more question, and then we can get back
Yeah.
to the episode. They do have, the off-brand things, Pearphones, Skybucks, etc. But it begs the question, do you think there was a big Pee-wee Baby speculation boom the same way that everybody thought Beanie Babies were going to be super valuable?
Oh, absolutely.
Or in this world,
Oh, for
was there
sure,
not
yeah.
that?
Oh, absolutely there was a speculator boom. Why would he collect them if there wasn't some precedent for people wanting-
Maybe he just really cares about the
appreciates
product.
I guess.
Maybe he has a deep appreciation for tiny stuffed animals.
That's possible. I did think that maybe for a second he was going to say, yeah, I'm off of Pee-wee Babies. I'm into Care Bears now. Like something like that.
No, I'm off of Pee-wee Babies. I'm super into NFTs now.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
Griffin is definitely the type who sells NFTs and does not know what they are.
But good news, he's off of Pee-wee Babies. What is the bad news about our good friend Griffin?
Oh, where do we even start?
Well, he went to prison.
Yep.
He went bankrupt.
Yep. You remember the third one? The third one's really good.
He's a hypnotist and he's infertile.
He's infertile as the
He's
third
infertile.
one. Actually, looking at my notes, he did in fact sell his Pee-wee Babies because he sold them for his settlement.
Oh, that's
and he says,
right.
apparently you can't just say you're a hypnotist.
He sold
So
them.
he did in fact cash out on the Pee-wee Babies.
So he did make money on the Pee-wee Babies? That is
Yeah.
wild.
He didn't even lose interest in the Pee-wee Babies. He had to sell them for his settlement.
That's so funny. His life savings paid off in the form of Pee-wee Babies.
Yep. But also important to note, I know we're spending a lot of time on Pee-wee Babies. Important to note, bankruptcy, prison, infertile.
He just like lists them off.
He says this to Carly apropos of nothing.
Yeah, and that's after like maybe 5 seconds after seeing her for the first time in however many years.
This is why his Tinder doesn't get any matches, because he puts all of this in his profile.
All that in the bio.
Oh,
Just so
yeah.
you know. Hi, I'm Griffin, and just so you know.
I'm super into Pee-wee Babies.
I was super into Beanie Babies at one time, but I had to sell them all for my settlement. Also, I've gone to prison, and I'm infertile.
And I'm bankrupt. Just forgot that
And I'm
part.
bankrupt.
Yeah, it's like the New in Town sketch.
And I'm new in town.
Yes. He is also new in town.
But guys, there is one more thing that is honestly
this is
maybe
kind of
not
the big one.
It's the big one for this episode. I'd argue it's not the most depressing thing in
God.
that
Yeah,
list.
I don't think it's the most depressing thing, but it's the one that has the
Yes.
most of an impact on the story
Yeah.
of the episode, which is that he's really into sand.
Yeah, Griffin has discovered sand. And I know we say that.
And I know what you're thinking. Sand, as in the stuff that's like on the beach in the desert.
No, it's different.
We're talking about this new miracle product filled with antioxidants and natural hormone boosters.
Yeah,
I believe it's mood
He says
boosters.
mood
Mood
boosters.
boosters,
but that is definitely what that implies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Carly's like, what? And he says, here, try some calming. You seem worried. Try some calm sand. And she tries it. And there's this fun transition where her face goes so serene.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to her with the same face in the apartment.
Yeah.
And she's explaining to everybody how wonderful sand is. And you can buy now and become your own sand entrepreneur.
a sandbassador, I believe they call it.
Ooh,
That's pretty good.
that's good.
I know you say it's terrible. I'd argue that that's the best thing about sand.
Yeah.
Is the pun.
Based on what we learn later. Sand, by the way, is called sand because it's like this grainy stuff. Like you pour it in water and...
Because it looks like sand.
It
looks like sand.
It looks like sand, but you pour it in water and you drink it and it boosts your mood.
Mm-hmm.
Just like regular sand. You guys ever try that?
Sand water.
You ever like put sand in water and you're like, here's the thing. Like it only boosts one mood, which is like, I always, every time I do it, I get all like queasy and I start to feel terrible, but it works.
That's true. It
And
really...
you get all queasy and terrible and you're thinking, why did I put sand in water? And then like 5 minutes later, you're like, you know what? That was great. I'm going to put more sand in my water.
That was great.
Yes.
It really changed my mood to awful.
Yeah. And it works. You're really going with that awful sand.
That's an emotion we need more of nowadays to really level us, bring us down to earth, and remind us.
I'm Zach Horowitz.
Yeah.
Have you ever wanted to feel awful whenever you wanted to?
Men will
Introducing
literally drink sand instead of going to therapy.
Introducing this new miracle product, literal sand. Just add this bad boy to your water, and you'll be feeling awful in no time.
Green flags, goes to therapy. Red flags, pours sand in his water to avoid going to therapy.
Who needs therapy to tell you about all your problems and make you feel sad? I just drink sand.
But Carly, who earlier suggested that Freddie needs a side hustle apart from his tech support job, says that this should be his side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And she has samples to share for everybody. She has sensitivity sand for Spencer, who, if we remember correctly, was told he's not sensitive enough.
That's right.
And she has bravery sand for Freddie, who's going to have a serious discussion with Millicent and needs to be brave for that.
That's good. I like that.
What other kinds of sand do you imagine they have?
They have happy sand. She tries to offer that to Harper.
Right.
Yeah.
They have happy sand. Carly drinks calm sand.
Horny sand for when you
I was
when
gonna
you
say,
have date
I feel
night.
like horny sand is just Viagra.
Yeah.
Just crushed up by Viagra and you're like, this
If
is
the
terrible,
effects
but I have
if
a
the
boner.
effects of sand last for longer than 4 hours, please consult a doctor.
Yes.
There's obviously awful sand. I
There's
don't
awful
know.
sand,
I mean,
yeah.
Awful
I
sand
mean,
is
real
true.
sand has cornered that marketplace for too long.
That's
Yeah.
right. Someone's got to take it down a notch. And sand is in the business to do that. The company's sand,
Yeah.
not regular sand.
Do you think? Okay, so
Sand trademark.
if they have brave, sensitivity, calm, happy, awful, and of course horny. Horny's gotta be the most popular, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They buy them like it's condoms and they just sit in their drawer all the time. Like, all right, one day I'm going to need this.
I just have a bottle full of sand in my sock drawer. Don't worry
And,
about
like,
it.
And like people come in and they see the bottle of sand and they're like, "What's the bottle of sand for?" And I'm like, "I got nothing."
And by the way, the
What
sand is
sand?
the reason that the socks are so
That's
crusty.
not horny sand.
The sand is the reason that the socks are so crusty. It's not because of anything else I'm doing with the socks.
No other reason.
And on that note, Harper comes in and shares that she didn't get this job with the stylist because she was too busy with her job at Skybucks to prepare.
Yeah.
Not I don't have much to say about that, but it's setting up Harper's arc for this episode, which I quite liked. I liked the way
Harper's
that
arc.
Harper's storyline folds into what's going on. This episode felt like a cohesive thing, that there was a story and there was an A plot and a B plot and they tied together in the end. Great.
Yeah.
Good work, iCarly.
It felt very good. Yeah.
But Millicent and Freddie have their meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Millicent has put together a 1940s style newsreel about how she should get a dog.
Specifically because that's of Freddie's generation in her mind, and it's an easy way to connect with the old geezer.
Yep.
I liked her 40s newsreel. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. We've talked about it, I think maybe a couple times. I think I'm fully turned around on Millicent. I like Millicent now.
Yeah, she's been getting a lot better.
Yeah.
Since like the first couple episodes when she was just unbearable.
I do like Freddie has this moment where he just says, I was born in the 90s, and I do feel like they could have had Millicent. It would have been terrible. I would have hated it. But Millicent could have said, yeah, only 90s kids understand 1940s style newsreels.
Of course. You think anyone in the 40s understood that?
I was going to say on top of that, we were born in the 90s. Are we old?
Yes.
Are we old?
Yes, we are old. We're adults now.
We're adults now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But are we old?
Yes.
Okay, if you're legitimately perturbed by this,
No, I'm not. I'm just doing a bit.
no, I understand.
We are old. And we're actually getting older by the second. We're in the M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old.
We're going to the beach that makes you old. Wait, what if that's where they get the sand?
Wait.
The beach that makes you old? Guys, I think I've cracked the case. Oh
Zach
my
has his
god.
conspiracy board. Zach has his conspiracy board, and it's
That's where they get the sand from the beach that makes you old.
Zach has his conspiracy board, and it's just a poster of iCarly and a poster of Old, and there's red yarn connecting the two of them, but there are no other clues.
It's just a conspiracy board, and there are two things on it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
The code.
Yeah, like at least Zach, at least print out some other pictures.
No, those aren't applicable. Listen, I'm very efficient when it comes to my conspiracy boards.
Yeah.
By the way, technically, maybe it's not the beach makes you old, but you get older on any beach.
That is true. You know, yeah. Time passes, you get older.
It's just very slow.
It just happens a lot quicker on the beach that makes you old.
Yeah. The beach that makes you old from Old.
From Old.
God.
Everyone's favorite movie, Old.
That's right.
Everyone's favorite movie, Old. But anyway, so Millicent says that she deserves a dog, which, by the way, she put together some graphics for her presentation. There are like newspapers that say Millicent gets dog, everyone is happy. She must have combed through a lot of footage of dogs and then edited it to be black and white, or just found old black and white footage of dogs, which I think is even more of a task. So like, just based on video editing skills alone, like I think maybe Millicent does deserve a dog.
You know what? Fair enough. But Freddie doesn't agree. He thinks it's an expensive and it's an expensive thing and that it requires a lot of responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So she negotiates for a cat, and they negotiate down to a fish.
Yeah.
And I really like Millicent was like, "You really stood your ground. I'm proud of you."
Yeah. Like she compliments him on his negotiation skills and like, yeah.
Yep.
He's right.
Yep.
Start off with the fish.
In the next scene, we have Spencer and Carly, and Spencer's being extra sensitive. He apologizes for calling her a meddler, says that was uncalled for. He asks, "How are you?"
Also, I think we forgot to mention a very important thing that they were talking about earlier on when Carly tries to prove to Spencer that he is not sensitive. She starts talking about a certain subject.
I don't know if I'd call this very important.
Well, it's important because they bring it up in this scene.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's not significant. I'm saying I don't know if I'd call it very important.
All right, fair. Yeah, fair.
No, it's very
But go
important.
ahead.
Go on.
Go
Harrison.
ahead.
She starts talking about how crystals can affect one's menstrual cycles, and this causes Spencer to lose focus and focus on himself again. So to prove that he is now sensitive because of sand, Spencer has gotten her a menstrual crystal.
Yep.
Hey,
It's so
Spencer?
great.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Spencer? Bad.
Bad
Why
Spencer.
would someone in general want a menstrual crystal? That's my biggest question. Why does someone want a crystal that will affect their menstrual cycles? Not that I can speak to the experience.
Yeah. Harrison, I haven't looked into it, so I don't know if I can give you an answer. I'm sure there are, if you'd consult with the world's leading experts in menstrual crystals, they could tell you the benefits, but I can't. But I hear what you're saying, and yes, I'll return your birthday present. I'm sorry.
I appreciate it. It's just that I don't have a menstrual cycle, so I basically can only use it as a paperweight. And
I thought you'd appreciate it.
I do.
Listen, you don't need to have a menstrual cycle to appreciate a good menstrual crystal.
It's a beautiful amethyst. I love it, but I just think that it could be better used by a woman or a person with periods.
Yeah. Okay, I understand. I'll return it. Still have the receipt, thank God.
Gotta return it to the menstrual crystal store.
Yeah.
And I promise I will return your birthday present of essential oils. I understand it wasn't
No,
it was more
Harrison, I use those every day.
Oh, thank God. I'm so glad you've come around to them. That's great.
Yeah, no, I just drink them up.
Oh God.
You put your sand in there.
I put my sand in them and I drink them up.
Put your sand in the essential oils, just drink them up. Yum, yum, yum.
And can I tell you? Feel great.
I put my sand in my essential oils, I drink them up, and then I violently throw up for the next half hour. But after that, I feel great.
That's the health benefit. You have to get all the toxins out of your system.
Oh, God.
Exactly. That's it. Listen, the throwing up means it's working.
It's the only true form of cleansing. Oh God.
I just want to be clean.
I just want to be pure.
We're covering all of our scam product bases. God.
But anyway, so Harrison obviously did appreciate the menstrual crystal, but you know who doesn't appreciate the menstrual crystal? Carly.
Yeah, she's not in the market for a menstrual crystal right now.
No. And Spencer gets very hurt. He says, I think very loudly, "Do you not want it?"
Oh, God.
And she goes, "No, of course I want it." And Spencer starts to cry.
Okay.
I forget if he's crying because she doesn't want it or crying because I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he says he's sorry that he misunderstood her joke about the menstrual crystals and then starts to cry when he's concerned that she won't accept his gift.
Right. But Carly takes the crystal and leaves, and Spencer says, "Who needs a hug?" And he hugs himself. And then in the background, I just really appreciated it. In the background, we see Carly's hands reach out and place the crystal on a table in the background.
I didn't notice that. That's good.
It's
very good.
Either, but that's good.
I
do
it
like
a lot.
the image of Spencer hugging himself, though. It was great.
But you know what else is great? Or wait, no, maybe
Sand?
it's the opposite of great. Well, sand is great.
Yeah.
But what's not great is Freddie comes in. He just spent his life savings on sand.
Oh, no! He already has the garage full of sand.
He spent the $4,000 he was going to use to move out of his mom's apartment to buy sand.
That's the point where Child Protective Services needs to come in and take Millicent away, because that is not good.
It's true. 100% true.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's more responsible. I'd argue that it's less responsible than building a fan of hammers.
Yes.
Because at least with a fan of hammers,
yeah.
you're you don't intend for that to break and hurt anyone. It's an art piece, and you're going to sell it so you can support your child. But no, Freddie just spends all of his money on sand.
Yep. But it's okay because it's a miracle product. He's going to sell them all, and it's going to be great.
Yep. He's too brave and too confident, so he's making bad decisions.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Oh, that's an interesting reading. I hadn't thought of it that way. His bravery is just making him.
The bravery sand is making him too reckless.
Well, I think he says that, right?
I think he does.
Does he say it? I must have missed it.
Yeah.
He's all hopped up on bravery sand.
I was getting that sense right away. I wrote it down in my notes, but I do think he says that at one point, that he was hopped up on bravery sand.
Freddie, this is why your 2 startup companies failed, Freddie. You need to get your shit together.
Yeah.
And there's a very good visual joke where Carly is very concerned and goes, that's great, that's great. And she just pours the bottle of calm sand into her mouth.
Yes. Oh, I loved it so much.
That was a good bit.
It was good. And then Carly goes back to her apartment and finds that Harper is distraught. And she tells her things could be worse. And Harper's like, I hate when people say that. Tell me who things are worse for. And she says, Freddie, he just spent his life savings. And Harper is, that makes Harper feel better immediately.
I liked that so much.
Nothing makes me feel better when I'm sad than realizing there are people who are sadder than I am.
Oh, God.
People I know. Good friends who are sadder than I am.
Yeah, I mean, like, every time I'm sad, I think, it could be worse. I could be Harrison.
Oh, damn.
Fuck that guy, am I right?
Wow, coming at me right now.
Yeah, Zach, I know what you mean.
Who was I gonna say? Mark? Well, I can't say Mark.
Why not, Zach? Why not?
Because Mark's life is awesome and I have no other friends.
Anyway, Carly has a brilliant idea to help out Freddie. She'll use iCarly to sell the sand.
Which is a great idea that I'm sure will not go wrong in any way.
Just a side note, and we don't have to talk about it. I'm enjoying saying sand a lot in this episode.
Oh, I am as well.
But we go over, Millicent has gotten her fish. Millicent has her daughter, Donut.
Yes, Donut, the fish.
Yep. There is a moment where Freddie refers to Donut as her fish, and she says, excuse me, Donut is my daughter.
I like that so much.
Millicent has gotten very attached to this fish.
It's so good. Carly comes in and tells Freddie that they can use iCarly to sell the sand. And Freddie's like, great idea, expand. I should buy more sand so we can sell it to the fans. Carly's like, wait, no, that's not what I said. And Freddie runs away and says, Mom, I need a loan.
I like that. Oh, I need a loan.
Yeah. And then Carly turns to Millicent and is like, well, there goes your daughter's college fund. And then Millicent's like, she's getting a full ride scholarship.
How dare you, Carly? How
dare
you besmirch Donut like that?
Franklin Delano Donut is going to be a great scholar.
I think what we're learning is Millicent would be a bad mom.
Yes.
Putting a lot of pressure on her fish.
That's true. That's true. But to be fair, she's like, what, 8 years old?
True. Maybe 8-year-olds shouldn't be parents.
Hot take.
Call it a hot take, if you will.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyway, but, Freddie's risky decisions may be paying off because in the next scene, he comes in and says that he's a diamond VIP sand. What was the term?
Salesman. I don't know. It was like a whole acronym, and I was like, I'm not remembering all those
wanted
letters.
to say sand presentative. Like
Sand representative.
Sand ambassador.
Sand
ambassador. It should have been sand representative.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I wish it was sand representative.
He's a diamond VIP, and Carly's like, oh, so you must have sold a lot. And he's like, nope, I bought more, got 5,000 sand coins. Or no, I was given 5,000 sand coins, used that to buy more sand, and I quit my job.
Freddie, you are a mess.
I don't think, maybe bravery sand is not an accurate name for it. Maybe it's like dumbass sand.
Yeah.
I don't like to be so vulgar and judgmental, but come on, Freddie.
I see. This is Sand's marketing strategy. It just feeds the dumbass sand to people as their sample. So it just makes them really stupid.
Yep. But after hearing all this, Harper goes, oh, I know what this is. This is an MLM. And Carly's like, it's not, but what is that? And Harper explains what a multi-level marketing scheme is.
Like, Carly, how do you not know what an MLM is?
Yeah, how do you not know what an MLM is?
Mm-hmm.
And also, Harper fully says, yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's a scam.
And Carly's only response is that Harper says that the products have to be like they don't work, like they're not good products.
Have to be bogus.
And
But Carly's like, no, sand works.
Sand obviously works.
yeah.
And she says she's sticking with it. She's got her head in the sand, which I liked a lot. I thought that was a good line and probably the reason they called it sand.
Probably.
And I think it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
For that one line, yeah.
For that one line. So Millicent, next scene, Millicent approaches Harper at Skybucks. It should be noted she's wearing a baby Bjorn with her fish in it.
That's
like
fantastic.
An aquarium baby Bjorn.
That's so cute.
Very good. And she starts to feed her baby Donut. And she says, "Oh my God, I just accidentally fed him sand instead of fish food. I can't believe I did that." And Harper's like, "Wait a minute. They look exactly the same."
Yes.
And Harper discovers that sand is fish food.
Literally the same brand of fish food. Like she rips off the label and
literally.
finds out that they just pasted the label on
They
top.
just pasted the sand label on top of the existing label, thinking that no one would bother to look underneath the label.
Look. Sand is a small but impressive business. They don't got the money to buy their own containers.
They outsource all the containers to the local fish food company.
It's so much cheaper to just buy the fish food and use it as is than to buy fish food, buy containers, pour the fish. You expect me to pour something into another thing? Ridiculous.
Of course.
They don't pay the Sandbassadors enough to do that because they don't pay the Sandbassadors at all.
Well, they pay them in sand coins.
They pay them in sand coin.
Sand coins.
That's going to be my new cryptocurrency, sand coin.
Oh, they pay them in
no.
NFTs. But Harper, upon making this huge breakthrough, is like, I need to tell Carly right now because she's going to sell it on iCarly. And she goes to her manager and she's like, I need to go now. I have an MLM/best friend emergency.
The manager says, "This is your job. You can't go." And Harper quits because the job is holding her back and she needs to leave. And it's an arc thing. I like that there was a setup of Harper wants to be doing these other things but can't because she's too busy at Skybucks. And then she quits Skybucks. And also, the A plot and the B plot are colliding. She doesn't just quit her job. She quits her job so she can go stop them from selling sand. That's what a good show's supposed to do. That's what a good show does. I liked it a lot.
They did it. They did it.
And it's a plot that doesn't just like fizzle out. They don't just have like Harper saying that Skybucks is holding her back. And then at the end of the episode, it's like, well, I'm still working for Skybucks, but off screen, something funny happened.
Right. Yeah.
But Harper races to the studio. They have begun their sand pitch. It's Carly, Freddie, and Griffin. He's back to sell sand. They have a chart that is literally a pyramid.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. And Freddie and Griffin are getting real into this selling sand thing.
Freddie and Griffin are real into it. They bring on Spencer so he can talk about his experience with sand.
Right.
And Spencer's wearing a weird earring and talking about how sensitive he is. Harper tries to tell Carly that sand is fish food, but Carly's like, not now. We're in the middle of a presentation. So Harper writes it on a board and shows it to Carly just as Carly has to make her big pitch. And Carly has this breakdown as she realizes she's been consuming just heaps and heaps of fish food.
She just realizes it was a placebo and she just starts freaking out.
She has a bit of a breakdown.
I do like that there's like a whole thing where she says that it's fish food and then Griffin is like, actually, sand has not been proven to be food of any kind.
Yeah, it has not legally been classified as food of any kind. It's really good. I like it a lot.
And then I love that once Carly puts together that Griffin knows that it's fish food and is just trying to cover Sand's ass. She says, wait, so you didn't even want to get back together. You just wanted to trick me into selling sand? And then he says, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can get back together. This man has nothing in his life.
I would have just loved if he was like, what? I love you. No, he
does say I love
Harrison,
you.
he doesn't have nothing in his life. He has sand.
He has sand.
Which is nothing.
He does say at one point.
He has a lot of fish food.
He does say at one point that sand is the only thing keeping him from driving his motorcycle off a bridge. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is a thing he says.
Yeah, so he literally only has sand. Ooh.
Oh god, that's a sad existence.
Well, to move on to something less depressing, but also still kind of depressing. Freddie, upon realizing that sand is just fish food, was like, so I was actually brave in front of Millicent. That's great, which is good. And then the rest of it hits him.
Yeah.
That he quit his job, spent all his money on nothing.
Yeah.
But he does say, like, you know what? That job was holding me back. It's good that I left it.
And Freddie and Harper bond over now being unemployed.
Oh, there's one more line I want to highlight, which is Spencer's realization to finding out sand isn't real, which is he says, so I've always been this sensitive? Am I the total package?
Oh, it was fantastic.
It's great, yeah.
We love our Spencer.
We love our Spencer. In the final scene, Freddie and Harper bond over the excitement and the horrifying fear of having quit their jobs.
Yeah.
You know, when you said that Spencer line, Mark, I realized something. I don't think he classifies, but is Spencer a himbo? I feel like Spencer is a himbo that doesn't respect women, but I feel like that's kind of a big thing about being a himbo.
That's a big part of being.
That's like the one thing holding him back from being a himbo is that he doesn't respect women.
That's true. Well, you also have to typically be like a real hunk. Not that Spencer isn't a hunk.
Yeah.
I think what you're identifying, Zach, if I may, is just that Spencer's dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's dumb and we like him.
Yeah.
That's fair.
No, you gotta be like a ball of sunshine to be a himbo. And Spencer is
You've
just
gotta be
too
a
much of
Jimmy
Spencer
Gibbler.
is a ball of sunshine in my life, Harrison.
That's
How
true.
dare you?
I think you've got to be a ball of sunshine, and I also think you have to be like beefy or super hot.
True,
And again,
yeah.
I'm not saying Spencer isn't super hot, but I don't.
He's
if
not
you put
beefy,
him
though.
next to like Jimmy Gibbler from Fuller House,
Right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not the same. It's not the same.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Spencer's not super beefy. I think it's just we love a dummy.
Love a
That's
dummy.
fair, yeah.
We love a dummy. Anyway, I think that's it for the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us into our favorite segment, Sad Boy of the Week.
I have two people in mind.
I feel like there's a good amount of nominees here.
Yeah, there's
I
a
think
lot
there's a
here.
good amount of nominees, but in my mind, I think it comes down to two of them.
One of them
Freddie.
has to be Griffin, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Freddie and Griffin.
Freddie and Griffin, yeah.
Freddie,
Yeah.
who spends all the money he was saving to move out of his mom's apartment finally,
Yeah.
so he can give a home for himself and his daughter. But he sells all of his, he gives away all of his life savings buying fish food from a scam company.
Oh my god.
Yep.
No.
No. Legally, it's not fish food or food of any kind.
Right. Legally, it's not food of any kind. And then there's Griffin, who is selling legally not food of any kind. Griffin, who sold all his Pee-wee babies for his settlement because you can't just say you're a psychic. He went bankrupt. He went to prison. He's infertile. He's new in town.
Oh god.
And he joined an MLM and got in touch with his ex, Carly,
Oh, God.
from like 10 years ago
Oh my god.
to recruit her to sell
Oh my god.
sand, which he knows is fish food. He knows it's a scam.
I feel like, okay, before we vote, I feel like he's not gonna win, but I feel like I also have to throw Spencer out there.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like every member of the cast deserves to be on the list in this episode.
Yeah, I think literally
Yeah.
everybody should be on the list. Except maybe Millicent. Except Millicent.
Except
Yeah,
Millicent.
Millicent's fine, but like Carly is
Millicent's
having
fine,
mental
she got a fish.
breakdowns.
Yeah.
She's relying on this placebo to keep her sanity.
She got into an MLM.
Yeah. Spencer fully falls for the MLM stuff, buys his sister a menstruation crystal.
Yep.
God.
So good.
Yeah.
And
Oh my
Harper's just
God.
kind of literally sad for a lot of the episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Oh.
So
I don't know who
voting.
I'm voting for.
I am all
I don't know who I'm voting for.
Maybe I liked an underdog, but I'm all in on Griffin here.
Oh, I am 100 Griffin.
Yeah.
I was
Honestly, yeah, I think it's Griffin.
throughout the episode I was thinking it was going to be Freddie, but then just like laying it out all again, I was like, right, Griffin is just nothing is going on.
Yeah,
It's
he
like-
has
and
nothing
he's-
without this MLM.
And also it's the thing we love about sad boys in these shows, which is that he's so confident
Yes.
in his sadness. He's like, look, I'm bankrupt, I'm infertile, get ready.
And then the twist at the end where we realize that he hasn't been fooled. He is the fooler.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's Griffin for sure.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
Griffin.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us this episode, unless anybody has any final remarks.
Use code REWATCH for 45% off on your next order of sand and menstrual crystals.
Sand and menstrual. Ooh, we're really branching out.
Yeah.
Yep. We're like a business now.
We are professional business people.
The menstrual crystals, by the way, are fullest house themes, and the iCarly merch is on the way. So order fast.
Anyways, that is gonna do it for another episode of Rewatch Party. Make sure to give us a rate, review, subscribe, all that fun podcast stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe, baby. If you like what you just listened to, make sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Rewatch Party Pod. Once again, I'm Zach Horowitz.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Mark Green.
And until next time, keep rewatching. And please, don't ever buy anyone a menstrual crystal. I mean, seriously, what the fuck?